Hey, how's it going? This is Grant Luna with Fidelity National Title. And in today's video, I'll be showing you two different ways to find farm data based on life events. As the market changes, most of us now know that interest rates have gone up. So that has seemingly changed the behavior of sellers in the real estate market. So now people are probably selling because they need to. So that can be things like a growing family, having a new kid, maybe a divorce, a death in the family, maybe financial difficulties, or maybe looking to downsize, maybe their kids have moved out, maybe they're empty nesters. So ultimately, Fidelity has two products that can make this really easy. So first things first, just hop into any web browser that you yourself would use, and you can navigate to Fidelity Total Farm. If you don't have an account with Fidelity Total Farm, check the description below. There's a link for an easy to follow setup guide, and you can just follow along from there. So I can just sign into Fidelity Total Farm. I'll navigate to one of the farms I already have created. If you don't know how to create farms, there's another link in the description that will show you a few ways that you can create a farm in this system. But all I have to do in Fidelity Total Farm is select one of these farm names here. So let's say that I wanted to find life events in a specific farm area. So what I can do is search for that farm area in the search bar up at the top right of the screen. I could enter in the name of the farm. So I know I have one farm name, 179 South Shores. So all I have to do is select the farm name here. I'll enter into this farm. So now I have the homeowner data, such as their name, their address, when they bought the property, what they bought the property for, what the assessed value is, etc. But what you can actually do is use some of these filters up at the top of the page here. So I can see which homeowners are out of state or absentee homeowners, which are occupied. I have other filters here. But if you're looking for life events, you actually want to look for premium farm at the top, up at the top right up here. If you don't see that, you may need to scroll over just a little bit on your screen and it'll appear. You can select it. Next, you'll see these new filters that appear. So notice of defaults, notice of trustee sales, marriages, births, deaths, and divorces. So right now, this is still the entire farm. This is all of the property owners in 179 South Shores. So this is 1,300 records here. And to show you how this will filter, basically, I can select births. And if any new births have appeared in the last 45 days, it will say something like this, where it'll say there are 1, 2, 3, 4 new records available. These are 5 credits per record. Let's say I wanted to purchase these. All I have to do is select Get Records here, then Get Records. Let me just agree to the data use agreement and select Get Records. Select OK. And now it will give me the property address here where that has taken place. So now if I wanted to, I can send a card or maybe just try to start to get in contact with them. Maybe I think in the near future, maybe they'll be people that might want to sell up or sell their current property and move up into a bigger house that they can have with their kids. So that's just one way to go about doing that. I could have done that for these other tabs as well. And it would let me know if there are new records available. This will update itself every 45 days or so. And what you can actually do is go to Premium Dashboard for all of your farms. And this will actually break down all of your farms that you have in your Fidelity Total Farm account, and it will break them down by life events. So you can actually see how many marriages, divorces, births, or deaths have taken place in those specific farms. So the second way you can go about getting life event data with the Fidelity program is through Fidelity Passport. Once again, if you don't have an account with Fidelity Passport, there's a link in the description so you can set up your own account. Once you're logged in, what you'll do is navigate to lists at the top of the page here. So I can select lists. Next, I'll go to geography. I'll select, let's say, a city in this case. So I can select city, and then in the drop down, I can choose the city. Next, I can choose instant lists over here at the right of the screen. And now let's say I wanted to find move up buyers. So I can select move up buyers right here on the left side of the screen. Now on the right side of the screen, I can actually see some more data here. So this says, basically it's filtering for property owners in Santa Monica that have a building area that is max 1,500 square feet. These are all of the property types. They live in the property itself. They recorded sometime in the last couple of years. So that's 4,648. And I actually think I have to select premium here to make these lists work correctly. So let's go back and do a fresh search. So go to lists, select premium, then city, and then I'll go down here. Let's do San Pedro this time. And I can select instant lists on the right side of the screen. I can select move up buyers. And so now this will give me, like I said, 1,500 max square feet. All of these property types, I can unselect some of these if I wanted to. Recorded in the last 2 years, so they bought their property sometime in the last 2 years. They have at least 30% equity. They're between the ages of 25 and 45. They have kids at home. So basically just one farm that I can select. Let's say I wanted to play around with some of these others just to get a sense of what's on these farms. I can select empty nesters. Now this will be reflected here, and you can get the characteristics of that farm itself. Same thing with all of these: absentee owners, out-of-state owners, negative equity, homeowners with equity, distressed pre-foreclosures, etc. The nice thing about exporting this data, and actually before we go into that, you can actually see the cost of the data. So before you move forward with it, you can select next here. So this is 19 properties. This is for pre-foreclosures in San Pedro. So I can select next, and now on this page, it'll tell me the total cost of that data. And the nice thing about actually exporting this is it does work with a system like Fidelity Total Farm, which is really good to actually export it in other systems, or maybe you just wanted to monitor that and make that your farm long term. So what you can do is select export outputs here, just to make that actual exporting process from Fidelity Passport into Fidelity Total Farm easier. And so what you can do is choose an export format. And so you can select Farm Tool here. And so now this will make sure that the file has all of the headers that are needed just to make that import a lot easier. Let's say I went through and purchased this data and I added it to cart and I paid. I would download that file onto my computer. Then I can go into Fidelity Total Farm, go to the View Farms home menu up at the top left of the screen. Then I can find this import button at the bottom right of the screen here. And then I can choose the file, so I can select Browse. I can get that file that I got from Fidelity Passport. I can upload it. And now all I have to do is select Farm Tool Layout here. And so now it will match all of these for me, so it makes it easy. I don't have to go through the work and match them one by one. So ultimately, these were 2 ways to find life event data using Fidelity Total Farm and Fidelity Passport. Obviously, feel free to check out my YouTube channel for other materials that would be helpful for these people. Fidelity Total Farm itself is a deep resources. It allows you to have a lot of different ways to contact people based off things like their homeowner exemption status, whether they're eligible for Senate Bill 9 or not, etc. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below, and thank you for watching.